it foggy outside. All the planes have been grounded. Ain't the fire inside? Let's all go stand around it. Funny, I've been there, and you've been here. We ain't had no time to drink that beer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sandman podcast. I am your host, Brian W. Tosh, joined as always by our resident hack checker, Oliver Fullington.
Yo.
Our producer and co-host, El Hilo del Hack, Tyler Fullington, and the man whose stories got stories, the hardcore icon. He's got 99 problems, but bananas ain't one. The Sandman Hack. How the hell's it going today?
Rough week, boys. You know, doing with Sabu dying, great friend of just such a great guy in the business and such an innovator, and the pouring of love out for him, dude. I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
I'm exhausted because it's you know, people texting me that I don't even know who they are.
right.
You know what I mean? It's just, you know, sending out their regards, and the dude, I don't know, I was talking to somebody, I was like, I won't be remembered like Sabu will. Sabu is the dude that is everybody's doing all his shit now. I wasn't that dude.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be remembered for an entrance. He'll be remembered for doing everything else. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. It's cool though too.
Yeah, it kind of showed through social media a little bit. You know, a lot of the current wrestlers and everything like that, whether it be WWE, AEW, or people in the independent circle showing their love. And just explaining what they meant to him in not only their careers, but you know, if they had a chance to meet him or anything like that. But it was nice to see how far his reach actually got, because you didn't know how people felt. Sabu was one of those guys how you didn't really know. He was a little bit ostracized from like the mainstream,
Totally.
you know, WWE and everything like that. But a lot of WWE workers and everything like that like showed their love, and it was nice to see that, you know, he was such a big part of not only their careers but their life.
Yeah, I mean, like, for me, like, you guys all knew him personally, so it's different for me, but, like, as a wrestling fan, the more I was thinking about it, like, I don't know if I'd be the level of fan I was today if it wasn't for him and everything that he did. And it's like you can.
I've seen a lot of people say that on Twitter.
It's like you can look at wrestling before Sabu and after Sabu of like how much he changed the business. And it's, you know, we've talked about it. Hack, when I spoke to you finally on Monday, it was like I went back and I listened to our very first show when we did our ECW Mount Rushmore, and the first guy we named was Sabu. And that just, you know, I don't think the week has gone by when we've done our show that we haven't talked about Sabu at some point.
Yeah.
Honestly, every single week. And that's going to continue on this show because we certainly will continue to celebrate the life and the legacy of Sabu because, you know, he's a one-of-one in wrestling. I don't think that the business would be where it is today if it wasn't for everything that he did. And the outpouring, like you said, Hack, was great to see this week where, you know, wrestling does come together as a community to celebrate some of its people at times. And we're going to do the same on the show next week. Obviously, you know, I've already put it out there on social media. Please send us in any memories of Sabu, attending his matches. Hack wanted to share this with the fans to have their chance to share memories of Sabu. So please send us into our email, sandmanpod@gmail.com.
And if you went and saw him live, try and remember the building. And sometime a year, anything will help jog my memory, maybe, of trying to remember your memory.
Yeah, and we want to share this with you guys too, because, you know, grieving and losing somebody, it's not something you do alone. It's something you got to do with your family and your friends and this community of wrestling that we have. So want to make sure that we're sharing this with you guys as well while you're in your morning. And Hack, I know it's been a tough week for you, man. I really hope you're hanging in there. And it's just, Ty, I know you too, man. It's just tough.
Yeah, when I was younger, I obviously didn't, when I was in the locker room much more. He was a man of very few words, obviously, to the likes of me, at that time period.
Yeah, he wasn't like a kid, like super kid friendly.
right. Like, I was always kind of like, oh shit, that's Sabu. He's kind of.
That's how I felt about him the few times I've been backstage.
He's coming out in a hand truck with a Hannibal Lecter mask. Yeah,
literally.
I don't know if I want to talk to that guy, but the further and older I got, the more and more I saw him at shows. I mean, me and him would. I guess it was out of nowhere. Like, by the time he hugged me, be like, "Hey Ty, how you doing? What's good? Good to see you." And it just like grew on from that. Grew on, as I got older. I guess he became more, open. I guess towards me in that aspect. But I mean, all the stories we've always heard, everything we always knew. Great man. I mean. Give his shirt off his back for the next dude.
That's one thing that, Hack, you've always said to me.
Dude, that's the truth. That's the truth. I've seen him buy tickets for guys that, like, we were at some indie promotion or something like that. The guy didn't have enough money. Somebody didn't have a ticket home. Sabu bought his ticket. I ended up doing that because Sabu showed me how to take care of the boys. I ended up doing it on a show somewhere freaking years and years later.
You told me that in Las Vegas. Me and you were smoking outside, and you told me that story and how he taught you of like what to do by his actions and stuff.
Right, dude. Act like a pro.
Act like
you've
a pro.
Been there.
And
help a young guy out.
That's like the old school in him, kind of.
Absolutely.
Because he came up, the old school way with obviously his uncle, the Sheik, and part of the mystique of him. But backstage, like Mike Awesome, the first time he got booked in ECW, Sabu took it out of his pay to get him booked on the show back in 94, 95. Like Sabu was instrumental in bringing guys along, whether it was RVD or even Pee Wee.
Right.
Like little.
There's two Pee Wees.
Like little things like that like maybe people just don't realize. Like if it wasn't for Sabu, we wouldn't have Rob Van Dam.
Oh, and maybe what's his name from Japan?
Who?
Dude was wrestling Mike.
Huh?
I think he might have been
Tanaka?
I think he might have been educated in that too.
Getting Tanaka over? I mean, it makes
There
sense.
was somebody else Japanese. It might not have been Tanaka,
Okay.
but there was somebody else Japanese that he was taking care of.
Yeah, I mean, he just those kind of stories where maybe you just don't hear about from because he probably didn't want him out there, and he's probably a humble guy himself. But what an absolutely just transcendent performer.
Lived the business, That's
Lived
what it
the
is.
absolute business, and just an incredible performer. So we couldn't start this week off without talking about it. I know everybody out there has been dealing with this all week, and I'm kind of surprised for myself. Like I never knew Sabu, but it did hit me hard this week too. Just because knowing you guys and knowing Hack, and it's like, man, I've been bummed out all week about it, man. I really have, and I mean, just because. He's one of my favorites, and it's definitely, damn, it just sucks. It really does. And
so next week we're gonna dedicate, a show to him, and that's when we say we want memories and stuff like that. We're gonna read that over that podcast. Like you're gonna get on there. We're gonna talk about any stories that you have, whether you saw him live, whether you met him,
Any detail.
If you didn't, just the first time you saw them or watching them on TV or anything like that. If you have any stories, if you have any questions for Hack, like that's going to be all next week's podcast. So get them out there either on sandmanpod@gmail.com or any social media stuff. And I want to thank you guys for the support and well wishes that you sent to us to Hack through social media and everything like that we've seen so far. So.
Absolutely.
We'll get that taken care of for next week.
Yeah, it'll be a tough show, but I know it's going to be great because obviously we've gotten a ton in the inbox already, and some great questions and memories of Sabu already that I've seen. So
nice,
excited for that. There's not really any easy transition for this, but you guys have a chance. I know Hack watching the NBA lottery this week.
What a work. What is this? 7 years in a row, the team that's had the best chance of winning hasn't won. Dude, it reminded me of Patrick Hughes. Everybody will know the Patrick Ewing frozen envelope thing. Dude, that 1.8% chance when you just lost your best guy. I mean, what's Flag and what's his name going to do there?
Cooper Flag and Kyrie, Anthony Davis.
And Davis, dude.
Well, they can play together.
All right, I didn't mean it like that. They'll work it the hell out.
I don't think it's
because
actually
Davis
work.
won't put up with any of his shit.
I mean, dude, if everybody stays healthy, they got a decent team.
They do.
Yeah.
They have a very, very good.
Yeah, I mean-
I see Flag is not. He's not going to need much time to translate his game into the NBA.
I agree.
He'll be able to ease his way in.
Yeah, by the end of next year,
especially playing with Anthony Davis, Clay, and Kyrie, it's like that's going to take so much pressure off of him, and just they'll be able to just bring him along.
Yeah, well, I know you said you think it's a work, but it didn't work.
Well,
Did they work in the
Why don't they show it to us in live?
Okay, I know what you're saying with that, but
they
used to do it.
They have a member of each person's organization in the room, quote unquote, that they say watch. Right, exactly, or whatever. But dude, LeBron left Cleveland, they got the first pick. Anthony Davis left New Orleans, they got the first pick. Zion. I mean,
they put some computer geek whiz out there in front of all the owners, and he's like, "Yeah, this is what we came up with." He rolls.
Did they also work it? Did they work in the Kyrie ACL injury too? With it, was that part of the work?
I don't know about that
because they wouldn't have had the chance to get into the lottery without that injury.
I thought that they changed. It wasn't weighted as heavy as it even is now. Like when it first started, it wasn't as weighted. Then they were having so many teams that were like 7th or 8th in the lottery, freaking ended up winning it and shit. So then they re-weighted it, and then that still didn't help.
Well, now they've had it where the 3 worst teams have like a 14% chance, and then it's
that was the re-weight that they did.
That was to try to discourage tanking.
Yeah, but what it did was it screwed with the basic numbers,
the
of
mathematics
the science.
of it. Yeah, the mathematics of it.
I'm happy because the Sixers get the 3rd pick. We kept
Because the
their
most
pick.
they could get is 14.
Right.
But
Yes.
with the Sixers, we get to keep our pick, and we probably get Bailey. I'm thinking that's the guy.
I'm
It
hoping.
depends, dude. Unless the Spurs take him,
Then
then what do you do?
I'm seeing they're probably going to go
If the
with.
Spurs stay there,
Well, there's that. There's the rumors of
trade that for Giannis.
Giannis may be on the move this summer.
Okay, well then the Bucks take him.
I don't care. I'd much rather. I don't care about whoever goes to Milwaukee. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'd rather have them go to Milwaukee than another good team.
Okay.
The second pick in the draft, whoever it is.
Milwaukee's going to be
it's gonna be
irrelevant at that
Harper.
point.
Huh?
Milwaukee will be irrelevant at that point because Dame's going to be.
Well, that's why I'm
probably
saying I don't mind that dude going there in a fucking trade for Giannis.
Lillard's most likely going to miss the entire season.
Yeah, so let them take a good guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's probably going to be Harper that goes 2, and then Bailey is the projected number 3.
I'm hoping it's Bailey.
I'm hoping it's Bailey
Is he
too.
tell me his stats. What is he? I get him confused.
He's a 6'11" small forward.
No, he's 6'7" and a half.
Yeah,
No,
he's
taller than
6'8".
No, he
He's
got
listed
at the combine. They measured him at 6'7" and a half.
Really?
Oh wow!
Lifters?
It was
A
a
lifter?
bar.
No, on the Rutgers thing, everyone's saying 6'10", and I'm like, if you just look at the kid, you can see he's not 6'10". If he was 6'10", he might be going over flag.
Oh man.
Yeah, Rutgers had him listed at 6'10". He measured at the combine barefoot 6'7" and like 3/4. So he's
And that
basically-
always happens.
Yeah, he's basically 6'8" and a half on on sneakers or whatever like that. I think that kid, it might take him a year or two to get
18.
ready.
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah, I think it might take him a year or two to get ready, but I think he might even have higher upside than Flag. I think if you watch him play, he's just super smooth and he's like his shoot. He
Can he
reminds
shoot
me.
threes?
Yeah,
What does he do best?
Yeah, he's shooter. He's like
All
a
right,
6'8"
that's
shooter.
exactly what we need.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if we can get him beat under the basket.
He's smooth. He kind of looks like Durant a little bit, but
I heard
He looks
people
like
say that.
McGrady to me.
yeah, he's kind of.
Brady's a little thicker because Durant's a little taller.
I mean, this kid's skinny, but like the way his shot and
He does
like
have to
the way
fill
he
out.
moves.
he's going to gain
Yeah.
20 pounds
Yeah,
of man weight
he's
in the next
18.
couple of years.
Yeah,
he's
he's 18.
He's got to fill out a little bit, and I mean,
Dylan Harper's
When he
ready
gets-
made.
Yeah, we get the program that they'll have him on. Where does that kid come from?
Not.
And where does the other guy come from? What schools?
They're both,
both
they
from
both went to
Rutgers.
Rutgers.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were
And they
telling
didn't,
me that
and they
the
didn't
other
even make the
night.
tournament. Too.
Yeah, well, they were
With two
both
of-
hurt the first couple weeks of the year. So
Yeah.
and whatever. Dylan Harper is Ron Harper's son.
Okay.
He's ready.
me that,
He
too.
could walk into an NBA team and he's ready. He's pro ready right
Yeah.
now. Dylan Harper. You could tell.
I like his loins. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You gotta like his
So do
dad.
I. He can walk onto a court and
Play right now?
and orchestrate and not look,
Lost.
out of
But
place.
we don't really need a guard.
No, and
He doesn't
neither.
have to be
At least not a
hard.
point guard.
No.
No. If anything, if we don't get Bailey, I would like Trey Johnson from Texas.
Same.
But,
Oh yeah. I think he's the next. I think he's probably slotted at 4. Like if you said, those are the
he's
top 4.
6'6" freshman shooter who we can definitely.
So what's that
use.
kid, like 16 and a half?
I don't know, he's probably
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
Bailey was a freshman too, so
Yeah.
him and Harper were both freshmen. But
I
Trey
mean, they're
Johnson's
getting younger and younger.
shooter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, we'll see how this turns out. Obviously,
We'll screw it up somehow.
we'll screw it up. I'm sure. There's nothing that scares me more as a Sixers fan than
Then a top 3 pick.
Sam Hinkie they had running the lottery. That's how it ended up like that.
Oh,
right,
okay.
Hanky.
Thank you, Hanky. Thank you, Sam. We appreciate it. We're still trusting the process, kind of, I guess. I don't know. Not really. The playoffs, though, have been really fun. Obviously, it's a shame what happened with Tatum the other night, man. What a great game that was.
Dude, him and Curry and that, God, that stinks.
It does. Like, I want to see the best go at the best always. I hate when
Yeah.
injuries come into play in sports, but it's just a thing that happens.
Dude, he's going to be out all of next season.
And then when he comes back,
Yeah, there'll be
because-
no reason to even bring him back halfway through, I would think.
No, you don't want to rush it with an Achilles. And
Dude, he's played more games since 2017 than any other player in the league.
I've never seen him hurt, for an extended period of time. And
And all the freaking
Playoff games. And
Yeah.
everything they
he was
played.
having such a great game that night too, like really competing and like dominating, and that was coming down to the wire. They were probably going to lose the game anyway, but just a
to me,
shame.
I don't hate it so bad because all right, I want to see Ant-Man develop more than I want to see Curry win another title.
I just
You
wanted
know
to
what I'm
see.
saying?
I just wanted to see more competitive games out of the playoffs.
Yeah, but what about fucking what's the name? Where's McAfee from?
Halliburton, the Pacers and Halliburton.
Yeah, dude. It's that last game went from like they were 20 down, then they were up 10, and then they were fucking even, and then they were down 10.
They've been really
That game
competing.
was crazy.
Yeah.
Every one of those games was insane.
Yeah,
And Cleveland had injuries too, which kind of stinks.
And then there's been a lot of blowouts too.
Yeah.
there has been, but I got to say for the Pacers too, man.
Hockey's holding their own.
Naismith and Nemhard, man, he's a dog, dude. Nemhard is a
I
dog.
like him a lot.
Dude, they did a hell of a job stealing Siakam from Toronto
Yep.
and drafting these kids.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have like the highest of highest like picks in the draft, so they really had to do their homework and kind of
I think
figure out who they needed, and they're developing awesome. Like
What did they
Nemhard's
give
really
up
good
for
to watch.
Siakam? Did they have to give up anything?
No, they signed him free agency.
All right. And what's he make, you think?
I don't
he's
know,
probably 20 something a year. Yeah, he's in that
That's
range.
it?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I would say maybe 30 something.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like 30 easily.
He's a good player, man.
I would say like 25.
he's a really like they're a really good team, and like
And Halliburton progressed a lot.
oh, absolutely. And regardless of what happens with the Knicks Celtics series, the Pacers are going to give whoever wins that series some trouble.
Run for the money.
Like that's going to be a very
Look at
competitive-
matchup. Wow.
And
Yeah.
Carlisle's a good coach.
Oh, Carlisle's
Yeah,
a
I hear
great
that.
coach, man. Seriously. So NBA playoffs have been a lot of fun. And
Pacers back-to-back conference finals, and we haven't been since 01. This is great.
wow, man, jeez, 24 years. That's just
Oh,
that
wait.
just hits you.
Who beat him last year in the
Siakam's
conference
cap-
final?
Siakam-
Milwaukee?
Boston.
Siakam's
Okay.
cap hit this year is $42 million.
Wow. Okay, so it is a lot
He got
more
a max,
money.
he got a max deal.
Yeah.
When it,
Okay. I mean, he's getting paid. That's all right. So
Yeah, so it didn't cost him any draft capital or anything, is what I'm saying.
no,
That was my
I
point.
thought they traded for him, but I guess not.
no, they got a really nice team right there. So we'll see what happens with the NBA playoffs. We've been obviously watching that.
Yeah,
And
dude, change it to the guard, baby.
it is a change in the guard
That's how I feel about this year.
with Ant-Man and like the younger guys in the league, Chet and Shai and some of the players there. It's like, okay, the old guys their time is kind of done.
Well, I
they're
think
in
it's
their they're in their late 30s, and the Stephs, the LeBrons, the KDs, those guys are.
I think they said it's been 7 years in a row a new champ.
It's good for the league. It's some parity.
Yeah, and dude, these playoffs is like, dude, anybody can win. Right at this point, like, it's as wide open as I can remember.
I'm really going for Edwards now that the Lakers can't win because of my bet that I had for them. Luka and Ant are like my favorite players, so it's like.
I get what you're saying, Tosh, but to me it's not parity when 20 of the teams win so little amount of games. You know what I mean? It's like parity at the top, but it's
true.
Like,
yes, but Indiana's a 4 seed.
Minnesota's a 6 seed.
Yeah, Minnesota's a 6 seed.
What's Denver?
What was Denver?
Denver, I want to say, was a 5 or 4. Yeah.
I mean, OKC is
were,
obviously still alive. Well, for right now, I mean, that series.
And what was the Knicks? The Knicks was a 3.
Yeah.
So I mean, the 1 and 2s are. When's the last time 1 and 2 hasn't won it?
I don't want to see Brunson
I guess OKC's
do something.
The 1, but
Brunson's been great to watch, man. What a competitor he is, and
foul baiting loser.
He's so good at it, though, dude. He's so good.
His job.
He's doing his job.
It would suck if he didn't do that shit.
Also, yesterday was the NFL schedule release with the Birds. We were talking about that a little bit before the show. Pretty tough schedule for the Eagles, man, this year. I mean, we're
10 playoff teams.
Don't worry.
This is Ollie. Ollie's
the whole thing.
He's the homer. He's our homer.
Homer? What do you mean? Dude, you're supposed to root for your team.
I always root for the Eagles. I'm not rooting against them. I just think it's a tough schedule. That's all. And we'll see what happens.
Every week, we are going to be the best team on the field.
17-0, Ollie!
We lost 5 defensive starters. It's going to take, dude. Remember how like now because you're doing less work before the season starts, they're going to be cutting out all the preseason. So the first 4 games, like, you could easily go like 1-3 and still be a great team.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like in the first 4 weeks, it doesn't really matter to me.
I can easily.
But we need to beat Dallas at home.
I can easily see them going 2-2 in the first 4.
Right. That's exactly what I thought. 2-2.
And I mean, especially with the competition that you lay out, you got Dallas, Kansas City on the road, home against LA, and then on the road at Tampa, which in
We
September
blow at Tampa for some reason.
typically, and it's gonna be hot as shit.
It's like the Phillies playing the Marlins.
Yeah, we always.
They were the worst team in the league, and they would beat us every freaking game a couple years ago.
I can see them starting off slow, but they'll be all right at the end of the day. I think
Yeah.
it's a tough
And
schedule.
it's an injury league, dude.
It is. If you stay healthy, you got a great chance because they're bringing a lot of the team
And
back.
we've gotten really, really lucky the last 2 years.
We have.
Really, really lucky.
We have. If we still have the line, if Saquon's healthy, we're still going to be a really, really good team this year.
Defending champs, baby.
Defending champs.
You hear that, Johnny in San Antonio?
Yeah, you hear that, Johnny? Yeah, we're coming for you.
Johnny.
And what's his name in Boston? You hear that?
Yeah, Skitty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's all going to be all right.
this week on the show, we watched WWE Backlash from St. Louis. The show started off with the WWE U.S. title match between Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest. And this one, Jacob Fatu, he's got to be one of like the 5 most over baby
He's a
faces
superstar right now.
in the company. Like, I mean, like he didn't turn babyface yet, but he pretty much is in the fans' eyes because he got a huge reaction coming out. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like
Every time he did something. I told you guys I'm starting to listen to the crowd more. And dude, they're all over. But it's like every guy in the match is at they're all over.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Every dude's over and can get a great response and doing anything. You know what I mean? But you see where now it's like the other 3 are sliding down in their overness, and he's taking that next step up in his overness. Because how long the other 3 been around? It's like a new thing. You know what I'm saying? Until he does something nefarious and they turn him. You know what I mean? And he goes back with family or something. But yeah, he's taking steps up. Everybody else is maybe not stepping down, but staying level.
Yeah, I
LA Knight ain't getting any more over than he is. Drew McIntyre ain't getting any more over than he is. And then who's the other guy?
Damian Priest.
Yeah, and Damian ain't getting any more over than he's ever been. To me, I don't think that's possible.
I think
because there's another level of that in that locker room.
There is, and we've talked about it too, where it's like a lot of these guys might end up getting a little bit disenfranchised with their slots on the card, thinking like they deserve more. And you can't argue that some of these guys do deserve more, but there's just not it's a crowded time right now at top, so it's like. You know, if you're a Drew McIntyre and you say, "Man, I could be main event in WrestleMania," and I don't disagree with a guy like that. But
and none of those guys right now. If you go from like Punk, Randy, Cena, and freaking and Dusty's kid. Did I say that right?
That's Cody.
Every single one of them is above every single guy in that match.
Seth
and you
Roman.
forgot Seth and Roman.
Those two. You know
and
what
you
I'm
got,
saying?
And you got Breaker now, who they're elevating.
Yeah, I know.
Randy.
It's a joke. Yeah,
And Logan Paul, who works at the...
there's so much talent.
And not to mention AJ Styles is creeping his way back into the picture.
Yeah, so
it's hard to put all the. I mean, Gunther, yeah, and especially when you're only putting together 5-match cards. How's everybody going to get a match? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. Like you have this dearth of talent. You have this dearth of talent, and you're putting together a 5-match card.
They're not. They ain't getting it.
No, I think what they're going to do, you know, if I could project, I think what they're going to do over the next 2 years or so is utilize TNA and utilize AAA and utilize other feds to loan their talent out to and to let them be top guys elsewhere.
Well, you saw they're doing the AAA takeover or whatever. Yeah, so that's going to some guys.
You think they're going to let people start using their top talent?
I think they're already working TNA and them. I think it's a matter of time until they actually consume TNA and purchase it.
Whoa, dude, that's like monopoly. Then
it is. I mean, besides
that's a monopoly of the business.
It is, but that's why you have other competition out there. But
buy a couple Japanese freaking things, dude. I have a feeling that they're going to be doing. Maybe not WrestleManias, but I think they're going to be doing multiple pay-per-views in different cities in different countries.
They're already doing that.
Wait, are you saying like
one's on a Saturday, one's on a Sunday?
Oh, that I see absolutely. Because then you get
banging a weekend and 2 days. You got enough heavy talent on the upside. You can throw anything underneath.
You don't have enough pay-per-views though.
Make them.
Well, no, you do it on. You just make one whatever pay-per-view they want to do. You just have one in Europe and one in India at the same fucking time. You could do one that starts during the afternoon here at 1 o'clock, and then do another pay-per-view that starts at 7 o'clock in the United States. Think about that.
You could. I mean,
it'd be a 24-hour 9-match card.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude. But they're expanding and expanding and expanding, and my brain's just like, where can they expand next?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What else can they do? Double WrestleManias.
Well, they're already doing the 2-night WrestleManias, and they tried.
Yeah, but one night should be in one
SummerSlam this year.
Yeah, they tried
first time ever.
They tried the 3-city WrestleMania, which was WrestleMania 2 hack, where they had a WrestleMania in I think New York, Chicago, and LA, and it didn't work that good. But that was back in 1985.
Yeah, I was going to say they actually have streaming capabilities of that now.
Yes.
Now think about this. You guys saw how long the people that wanted to buy stuff at WrestleMania weekend. Remember they had the camera, and the camera's going 5,000 miles. Imagine you could have your first night of WrestleMania, let's just say in Europe, Saturday. You're in Europe, and then they're still getting their whole WrestleMania weekend out of that Saturday. And you have the Sunday one anywhere else you want in the planet, and that one gets a whole WrestleMania weekend also. Follow what I'm saying?
Yes. And then also the thing that they get now is cities are bidding to have their pay-per-views
multiple times.
So now you can get 2 cities to bid for that event. So instead of getting the fee for the one, you double up. I don't disagree, Hack.
Indiana's all over that. They're the first ones to do it, right? They signed a deal with them. They
did a combo where it's a UFC event, a bull riding, and a WWE.
Shit. That's just great shit.
Yeah. Back to this match. There was a really cool spot with the what was it? The Samoan drop on the barricade.
I like that.
That was
was
awesome.
nice.
That was a great spot. They did like a tree of woe, and then Fatu took everybody out. There was a bunch of finishers they started to hit. They did the quadruple down, which I liked, which was pretty cool. Then they just did a bunch of finishers, Future Shock, Claymore, and Priest made a save. LA Knight dropped a big elbow drop after there was a missed moonsault.
2 in a row, right?
Yeah. And then
I love when McIntyre threw Fatu off onto LA Knight, then Priest came in with like a clothesline or a choke slam.
Yep.
And then it was a Claymore, and Priest fell on top of LA Knight for the pin. After that, they had a lot of good sequences that they ran.
I used to think so. Like, but the only note I have for this match is freaking great timing.
Yeah, a lot of really good sequences they had with everybody in the match.
Freaking timing, dude.
So
Wow.
Priest-
I was impressed.
Priest and Drew were on like some staging kind of thing, and then Priest choke slammed him off there through a table. It looked like a pretty nice. That
Dude,
was
it
a
looked
pretty.
like Drew hit his head.
Yeah, it was a pretty nasty bump he took on that one. Back in the ring, Knight put Fatu on the table, and he went to do a move to him, but Solo arrived, and then Jeff Cobb came out of the crowd, destroyed LA Knight. I don't like this where the ref is right. The ref's right there, and
It's a
just like,
four-way. It's no DQ.
I know, but then just hit a guy with a chair or something. Or just like
Let's just have clean finishes.
Yeah,
when
let's-
nobody's expecting it.
But what they want to do is build the story of basically Solo getting the help for Fatu not knowing about it, and then that's going to build to the dissension between them. Fatu hit his moonsault for the
Is
pin.
it?
Yeah.
We'll get into that later. That's what I was talking about when I could say shit could go either way with Fatu.
Yeah, so that was the finish there. How long did this one go? It was pretty long.
I don't
20
have
minutes?
a time
I'd say
here,
30.
Actually,
28.
It was long. I think it was a long. I enjoyed this one. I thought it was a really hot opener, and I thought that they worked really, really well. I'm going to go 3 3/4 stars for it. Ollie?
I really, really liked it. I wish they would have stayed away from Priest and McIntyre going out like on their own. I mean, I understand why they did it because Jeff Cobb is debuting and like you're getting that whole spot in and everything like that. But I think you maybe could have did that differently, or he could have just debuted on like a Monday Night Raw and maybe did that or something like that. But I get you kind of want to get the angle over with Fatu and everything, which he had great facials at the end of the match, like looking like, yo, like I did not want you to do that. Like you didn't believe in me. You didn't think that I could I could win this match.
Right, and the whole way back up the ramp too.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, it was great work though. Like you guys said, great timing. So I'm gonna go 3 stars for it, but it could have been 4 if all of them would have stayed and they could have stayed with the sequences.
Okay. Hack, what do you give it?
Wow, Ollie hit like every point, like literally, like
Same.
boom, 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 and especially because I was surprised at Fatu's facial freaking on his way out, and he from the time he saw him till the time 5 minutes later, maybe before he went through the curtain.
He didn't have to say anything, and you knew exactly what he was thinking.
It was great, and with the facials or everything, and that dude, that's 4.5 for me, easy,
Okay.
easy.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything that they said. I didn't like the separation between Priest and McIntyre. It took away from whatever was going on. It was just too long for whatever, if you're going to do a double down with those guys and get them out of the picture. It just took a little bit too long. There was a little bit too much downtime for the other two. But initially when I saw Solo come out, I was pissed because I was like, dude, he doesn't need that. Like, Fatu does not need that. And then I saw Fatu's facial expression, and then I was like, okay, that's good. He's like, dude, I don't want that. Like, I don't want your help. I don't need your help. Like, what are you even doing here? That was fucking perfect. Everything you guys said, I don't know if you noticed at the end, fucking, when Fatu did his splash, he had his back towards Solo on the pin, but he switched around to make sure that he was facing Solo. So after the pin,
that's a good point, Tom.
after he switched up, he
Of
didn't
course
have
I noticed.
he didn't have to turn. He didn't have to turn around. He just got right up and continued to look at Solo as he was up. Just great ring awareness. Totally. I'm going 4.5. If it wasn't for the little blip, I think, with, the priest and whatever that I didn't like. Dude, it kept me entertained the entire time. They pretty much had 4 guys working the entire time, and when it was like kind of a one-on-one thing, it wasn't long. Like, nobody had a one-on-one for a while. Like, they got their quick spot in, and then somebody was right in the ring, like, ready to do the next thing. So, which we really like. So, I thought it was really good.
No, I thought it was a really good opening.
Yeah,
too.
I gotta bump it up to a 3.5.
Yeah, you
I gave it a little too
I
low.
wasn't even listening to you. You gave it a 3? I would
Yeah, I
give
gave
it
it
a
a
shit
little
if I
too
was
low.
actually listening
No,
to you.
3.5.
I try not to listen
It
to
would
any
have been a
of this.
4 if they. They
I
could
was
have. They
just
could
under
have.
4 too.
Dude,
They
that
coulda
match
did the
was the timing alone.
No,
Get you a 4.
It was good, but they could have did the McIntyre and like Priest thing on like the announce and table.
That's the only reason
If they
why.
would've did
so
it-
far away.
But if they're laying there in carnage, then there's too many people looking at the
That's
same
true.
thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's too much right there.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason
agree.
why they set those 2 way, way, way away from the ring to go do your own shit.
I was just
'Cause
digging
we
the
need
match
it for
so
our
much. I
angle.
was just digging the match so much that I was just like,
Match
I don't want
was
anybody to go
fucking
away. Like, you guys
Yeah,
are doing
really
so
was
good.
so
It just
good.
went like it was really, really good,
So
and then it was
good.
just like slowed down for those 2 to like do that spot. And for some reason, like, Priest has to get carried out on a stretcher for doing a 6-foot choke slam off of a box. Like, I don't know, but yeah.
It's wrestling.
It's wrestling.
And that match could be even better if they did it elimination style.
Oh, there you go. That would have been yes.
Wish they did it more. Man.
No, because then you got to have multiple guys do jobs. Up next on the show was the.
That's why I disagree with that.
Up next on the show was the women's intercontinental title match between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. Man, I thought that this was awesome. I loved the work in this. I thought that these 2 busted their ass, and they did a ton of stuff. Mat work, some of the submissions. The Lyra had her in like a swing cradle submission that I've like, and
was cool.
and a surfboard. And I'm like, am I watching Bryan Danielson right here? Is this Lyra Valkyria? There was a Northern Light suplex. Becky went out of the ring, and then Lyra drop kicked her, which was really nice. She did her Bex Ploder. They were brawling on the floor. Lyra then hit a fisherman's buster, and they did a double down, and they did a comeback. There was a power bomb. Some really nice, the great superplex too. They did a bunch of roll up trading, and then Becky grabbed the ropes. I like the ref catching her, and then there was a.
Did they do that rolling bow and arrow spot yet? I like that.
Rolling
You guys
bow.
remember
What, the
that?
surfboard?
Well, yeah, but it was a surfboard that they turned into a bow and I don't know, something like that.
They did so much good mat work
They
in
did.
this.
They
Like,
really did.
They really did. And I liked seeing like Becky's just a couple. What is she? 3 matches back off a long sabbatical, and she comes
if
out.
you got it, you got it. Dude.
I know, but
And she had it cardio wise because she was there. She wasn't even really breathing hard.
for everything. And how
She
long
probably
did this
does an
go?
hour.
I don't
cardio
have
day,
times
that girl.
for some reason.
Oh, cage. You
Oh,
don't-
yeah, cage match doesn't give me times.
I think
on
this one went like
It
close to
seemed
20
really
minutes. They
It was a long match.
That seemed longer than the first match. to
They
me.
worked their
Yeah.
ass off. Lyra escaped the manhandle slam, and she threw her to the floor for a dive. And then she went back in the ring with a guillotine leg drop for a 2 count. Went for a moonsault.
Becky's
missed
got to take that better. The leg drop.
the leg drop.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
like hit her, then Valkyrie hit the mat, and then Becky
But I
had
know
like,
it's like how often does I saw that and I was like, yeah, that was the shits. But how often do you really do it? And if you're a girl and you got your hair hanging down on each side of you, you don't got much peripheral to get the chick coming off the top rope. Make sense?
I don't know. I'm making
So-
sure I see her something.
It's, okay.
No, I see what you're saying, Hack. She doesn't have like total visibility to like kind of position herself to take it better. But they were back in.
But
she
you're
went-
right, Ty.
She went for another manhandle slam. That was reversed. But then there was another one that got a 2 count.
There was too much of that shit.
Becky then went for a chair, and the ref stopped her with that. But then she went for the turnbuckle. Lyra then back in the ring with came back in with a moonsault for a 2 count, and then Becky ran her into the unexposed turnbuckle, hit another manhandle slam, but Lyra hit her with the Nightwing slam for a 2 count, while the ref was dealing with the turnbuckle. So I love a heel setting up something that kind of like helps them, but then backfires. I thought it was really
And
nice.
the ref did a great job with her timing.
She did.
she really did a great job.
Yeah.
When she has no business trying to mend the situation.
I was just going to ask you that. Should the ref have even been doing that?
Well, it's okay because it's only it's a couple quick seconds and nobody's going to remember that to me if that was my finish. But I wouldn't do a finish like that.
No, the only thing
I understand, but isn't that kind of taking away, like, from... Not taking away, I don't know the word I'm trying to use, but, like, shouldn't the ref be giving their undivided attention to the wrestlers for a pin instead of worrying about the exposed turnbuckle?
Absolutely.
But I think...
You ever hear Dick Worley go 7, 1?
I have no idea what you're
I'll tell you later. My bugaboo with the spot is that the ref was so gung-ho about putting the turnbuckle back on. Then she went over, did the count, and she never tried to put the turnbuckle back on again. She was so worried that it had to be on the first time. You don't think that she would try and get it again?
Yes, but in my mind, I thought that the bookers would think that, no, I'm only kidding. But that she learned her lesson by trying to mend it the first time. She wasn't going back.
Well, they go right to the finish after this because
Right.
Lyra reversed another manhandle slam into a roll-up for a 2 count and then reversed a roll-up from Becky into a cradle herself for the pin. I thought that was a great finish. I was shocked at the result.
I hated it.
I thought I loved it, and I thought like going into this, I was like, it's a very predictable card. I knew like I was like, all right, this guy's gonna win. Becky's gonna win. You know, Gunther's gonna win. You know, Cena's gonna win. I nailed like this one shocked me.
All right, Todd.
I'm serious. This is an easy. It's 4 matches I got right besides the one. I love this match. I'm going to go 4.5 stars for it. I really, really enjoyed this one. Ollie?
It was a good match. It went a little long, probably. The ref spot, you probably could have stayed away from. I don't know. I mean, I didn't really love it, I guess. I mean, they did a lot of good work, like a lot of good mat work and stuff like that. Hit a lot of good moves. It seemed to me like Becky was a little slow, like at first, and Lyra had to slow down a little bit. I mean, I know it's only what'd you say, her 3rd match back?
Yeah, I think Mania, there was the Raw match, and then this, I think it's
or something
3rd
like
match
that.
back.
So I mean,
I think Lyra could have been working a little fast too.
But yeah, I mean, I'll give it 3.
Okay.
You know, it was good. It probably a little long, and probably could have stayed away from the ref spot, and I would have liked a different finish as well. I mean, it was too much of a knockdown, drag-out match to like end like that for me. Like, somebody really should have put somebody down in that and got a decisive 3 count.
I think it's the start of a program, so you do this finish for that. That's kind of, I think, their mindset. Hack, what do you
Finish probably could have worked a little bit better if the ref didn't have to jump out of the ring and go get the shit on the floor. Like, if it was just, like, put down right there and she just, like, picks it up and, like, throws it away. Oh, shit, turn around for the finish. You know what I mean? And, let me see what else I got here. Dude, I loved, you guys are right with the Becky thing. I don't think anybody can really work too fast for you, but I also think Becky was waiting for her in a couple different times. Becky was up and she knows she's supposed to, the other girl's going to flip over or whatever. And you know, it's like that goofy pause, you know. And Becky's sell was great at the end.
Oh, it was awesome. I loved it. What do you give the match your rating?
I really didn't like to finish. 3-9.
3-9. Okay. Man, I'm a little more bullish on this than you guys, I think. Ty?
I thought it was a really good match overall. Like the work that they did in the match. Despite not really liking the turnbuckle angle or however you want to say it, the ref did an amazing job. By not looking too not looking stupid, and they involved her in a couple different spots. The hanging the arm on the rope, a couple different things. So the ref did a great job. Jessica, she's from Bubba's school. Actually, she.
The ref?
Yeah, she did train.
Oh, no wonder she's great.
I was down there at Bubba's school with her.
Was
Oh,
there?
really?
I was
That's
there.
cool.
She was there a little bit back and forth. I don't think she was there at the time. I think she
She never
might have-
lived in the house, right?
No, she was at the Performance Center a lot too. So she went from Bubba's school to the Performance Center and stuff like that. But little long for my taste. It just felt a little bit long. Like, they did great work. I don't think I was like bored. I ever got like bored with it, but the finish I don't love. Give Lara a statement win. She's the women's Intercontinental champ. I mean,
Becky can't be hurt.
Right. Let her beat Becky clean. Like, I mean, I know this is clean, but give her like a strong pin, like pin her. That's
agree
just
totally.
that's
Especially
just,
with it only being Becky's third match or so back. It's like, all right, you got me there. We can still go on this program. I think that you...
nothing
that you're
you
thinking about.
You can't hurt Becky, in my opinion, like we said.
Well,
so.
I don't think it's a Becky decision because Becky went down to NXT last year and put her over.
I'm not saying it's her
Oh
decision.
yeah, no. I'm saying I think Becky is fine with putting her over. I think that's like their booking decision to like protect her a little bit.
Right. I just wanted Lyra to kind of get like a statement victory to solidify her like
On the main
Intercontinental-
roster.
Did this end in an armbar?
No, they did a lot of armbar teases and a lot
Was that the next match?
No, she ended
No,
up
she had the
after,
disarmer on her for a bunch.
After the match was over, Becky put her in the fucking arm bar, and then they had to bring 15 people out to somehow get Becky
that's
off of Lyra, which I also hated.
I didn't like her facials then.
Like that, and she was just like laissez-faire, like, oh, I just got the disarmer on you, and then one ref can't get her off. So 15 people are sitting there pulling at her, and somehow 15 people can't get her off. I don't know. It just looks stupid. But for everything, I'm going to give it a 3 because I thought they did a lot of great work, and I think Lyra's like on a skyrocket here. Like, she's like the next kind of like
She should be allowed in
superstar.
that match.
Yeah,
Like-
I was really impressed with her. I was really, really impressed with her. I
Yeah.
thought, for me, this was my favorite match on the show. I really, really liked this
Yeah, I
match.
think she's got like a little bit of a sky. That's why
That chick could be winning the Royal Rumble.
I think that's why I kind of wanted them to give her that
Let me
like
put that down
solidifying
there.
win.
I called that.
It's May 15th, Hack. Okay,
Hey,
there you go.
I'm in.
Never
he's-
be too early.
He's booking
Right, anybody else got a bet? I got her at 21 plus 21 on her right now.
And I actually would like to give them credit on a lot of the armbar stuff that they did. It was never held for too long. And I know that we talk
can't
about the
have
armbar stuff a lot, and it's like, it's really, you got to be really careful about when you do it, but at least when they did it, they never held it for too long.
Yeah,
You're
she had
right.
it on her for like 10 seconds when I was like, don't get it. And then she like reversed. I was like, all
Oh,
right.
that's so funny. I'm exactly the same way, dude. You got like 3, 4, 5 to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Tops.
Well, because we're in this world where we've watched UFC for 25 years now.
They're a merged
That is
company,
that-
basically.
Yeah, but if
It's
like,
an immediate tap.
it's an immediate tap.
Yeah.
We know what it is. So it's
Yeah.
like, and I get it, it's wrestling, it's not that. But at the same time, holds, you really, you can't have it in all the way.
Dude, but the thing is, you can. Why doesn't wrestling fucking like ban it? But the ref fucking makes you stop.
You could do that too. I mean,
I can see that totally. Oh, like 2 girls going for it, and it's just the one match where it's banned. You can't do the armbar.
The armbar
I
match?
am a booker. These two in a steel cage armbar match, but you're not allowed to use the armbar.
it's an armbar
Alright.
match, but you can't do the armbar.
I might have to rethink
Yeah,
this.
how's the match?
Alright,
goes-
I'm not a booker.
Up next on the show was the WWE Men's Intercontinental Title match between Dominic Mysterio and Pentagon. This was, you know what, kind of a little disappointing to me. I thought this was just okay, and I mean, it didn't get a ton of time. It wasn't bad or anything, and I enjoyed some of Dom's performance, but as a match, I was like, man, this could really steal the show, and I just feel like it kind of came up a little bit flat for me. Dom did a Rana to start out the match, and then Penta went for a dive, and then Dom turned that into a DDT on the floor.
That was nice.
I did think that was a really nice counter
yeah.
there.
Why haven't we seen that before?
I think someone might have done that before, but
I just saw a highlight of Sabu doing it not too long ago.
There you go.
Yeah,
Sabu.
but that's about as clean as you can hit that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Really, really good spot. Back in the ring, Dom hit a senton, and then Dom hit a chin lock early, which I'm like, it's part of working, but at the same time, it's like, do we
Just
really
doing heel work.
I know it's just doing heel stuff for
Yeah.
heat, but
Yeah,
it's like,
but
He's not getting the heel
weak in
reaction.
it.
no.
He's not cinching shit in than he did the way he's like really like
It was loosey goosey.
yeah, really loosey.
It's kind of to like his chicken shit heel.
He shouldn't have
Yeah, I
a
know.
chin
But
lock.
you can't
Right.
have a headache.
Yeah,
you can't have a headache. I'm on a roll. Here. This is your booker. Grab a headache.
This is your booker speaking.
The Pentagon got out of that, and then they went to the floor. They did a dive for a double down outside. Penta hit a crucifix for 2, and then I love this. This is my favorite match.
The dive over the freaking ref.
No. Dom hit an Oblivion. I thought that
I
was
don't
cool.
even know what that was.
Where he jumps into the ropes and
It was Liv's finisher.
He's doing.
That makes me even know it more.
He's doing his girl's finish, which
No, but that's great.
I like that he's taking his girl's move.
That's Dom.
I know, and that's why I liked it. It was my
That's
favorite
what's so
spot.
good at
It
it.
was my favorite spot in the match.
yeah, what did Wade call her? His bunny or his,
Something like that.
Yeah,
She be my
and Michael
bunny.
Cole's like bunny.
Yeah.
Bunny.
They were on the apron, and then Penta hit a destroyer on there, and then Carlito came out, and then JD and Baylor tried to beat up Penta, and that went on for way too long. The ref threw them out, and then this is where Penta hits the dive over the ref, and then in comes El Grande Americano. He hit the ring, and he loaded up his mask ollie for your
Gracias.
favorite finish in the business. Loaded the mask up.
Dude, the loaded mask makes sense because you see the plate.
It's the same thing as the boot.
Yeah, but nobody puts anything in the boot.
He's jamming it. You got to pretend it's jammed in there to load up. He
You
loads
can
up.
physically see the plate.
Yeah, he loaded up the mask, and Mysterio got the pin to retain the title. There was a couple of good spots in this match, but I thought this was just like a TV kind of match, not like a pay-per-view level. I think that they have a way better match in them.
Dude, they have 87 way better matches. than
Right. I thought it was a little basic for what I know that these guys can do.
They're getting the point across.
Yeah, well, maybe they're like you,
Well,
saying like, let's not do everything.
Yeah, we're going to be doing this for a while, boys.
Let's not do everything here on Backlash.
Absolutely.
So, as a match, and this is not a diss, I enjoyed it, but I'm only going to go 2.5 stars for it.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you on 2.5. I mean, I agree that they do have a better match, and probably a better match with no interference.
Yeah, the interference, but I get the reason for doing it. You
Yeah,
got
I mean, of course, because it's just the Judgment Day, and that's just what it is right now. But I really like watching Dom and like how he's come along, and like him working in the start of the match, like taking his time, working the crowd, flexing. Like he really like took his time and like just let the pace and felt the crowd and like really worked really well. So I like that about the match. I thought that was my favorite part about it. And I mean, El Grande Americano with the loaded mask, baby, you gotta love it. But yeah, I mean 2.5 because they definitely got something better.
Yeah. Hack.
All right, I want to go back to the last match. Why was Becky the heel?
Becky turned on her.
Becky turned on her after they had
on the Raw.
did I
after,
see that?
on the Raw after WrestleMania, she turned on her.
after they lost the tag titles.
I never watched that. All right, and then I thought Becky was gonna. I thought there was gonna be a DQ.
Okay.
Like probably with halfway through the match, I just thought there was gonna be a DQ.
All right, so how about this match? Dominic and Penta,
Which one we on?
Dominic and Penta.
the Oblivion.
Oh, Penta's dive over the ref, over the top rope was great, and that's it.
Okay.
Stars?
Stars, yeah.
No, it's so hard, but
Dose?
I like the finish though. I mean, the finish is like so perfect. It just really is. I gotta give it a 3.
3? Okay.
All right.
Tie.
But they could get an 11 out of me easily if they wanted to work a hair harder than that.
Yeah, it wasn't what they wanted to do. Like,
absolutely.
they did what they wanted to do. It wasn't what they could do.
Yeah, it was an okay match. It was the most animated I've probably seen Dom work. He was like going like he always does his heel things, like especially when he's like a valet. Especially when he's especially when he's on the outside, like he'll do his chicken shit, heel shit, and like pose to the crowd and everything. But like as far as like a match goes, this was the most animated I've seen him like during his match. Going to the crowd and really digging into like the heel thing, but it was more like a heelish baby type thing because he was getting cheered. It was like a booed, cheered type.
I think he's feeling himself.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think he's getting it. Like I really do. I think I'm serious. Like I do.
Yeah, 100%.
He's killing it.
Yeah. So I thought the match was just okay. And that's your second interfered finish in the first 3 matches of a 5-match card.
First thing I thought too.
So I don't love that aspect of it, but 2.5.
Yeah. Up next on the show, man, this was Gunther taking on Pat McAfee. So,
Good job, fucking Pat.
Oh, well, hold on. I want to separate the end of this match from the match itself because I fucking hated the end of this so much with Gunther paying his respects to McAfee. Gunther should have just powerbombed him and Michael Cole and left. But the match itself and the bumps that McAfee took and the beating, this man is a multi-millionaire, and I'm not even the biggest McAfee guy. But he doesn't need to be doing this fucking shit. And he took an absolute fucking beating.
He's a mark. He wants to do that. He wants to do that.
And
I'm a mark.
Dude, the clothesline bump he took. Oh my god, when he landed right on his neck. I mean, I thought it was really, really well executed for what they wanted to do. I just did not care for the finish at all with that. I don't know where you guys are, if you thought about that at all with the Gunther paying his respects to McAfee. I wish he just...
What do you mean by paying his respects?
Because when he bowed to him and he gave him respect at the end of it.
I think that was kind of like a half-ass, like slap in the face. Like it wasn't like a real paying his respects. It was kind of like a.
That's how you took it, okay?
Like a fuck you.
Oh, okay. I wanted him to just boot him and powerbomb him again because, dude, McAfee took a beating in this.
No, but the thing is Gunther could easily do that. Right. That's why I think it wasn't like touche, you made this more competitive than I thought. It was more like fuck you.
Yeah.
Because he, like you said, Jesus Christ, Michael Cole said it 150 times. Just end it! Just end it! Just end it! You can end it! Just end it! Just end it! Just end it! Just end it! I'm like, Jesus Christ, shut up, Cole.
That was the other thing, too. Cole's commentary on this was very annoying. And I get you're doing that story of this match, and
it was just a little too much.
For me, it was for me as well. But
he did the end it thing 100 times. I'm like, dude, we get it. Okay, you don't have to keep saying it.
I like that the only offense that McAfee really got in that Gunther sold whatsoever was the punt. So it's the only thing this guy has.
Well, they're worthy of it.
And it was so light.
It was.
I know. I wish he would have kicked him hard. I wish he would have kicked him harder.
And Gunther probably wishes too. Dude, just lay it in.
Well, because Pat, if you saw him in the start of the match, Pat kind of laid in a few punches, and I was like, oh.
He definitely, a couple more than gave it back to him.
Eased up a little bit.
Maybe he didn't have his one of the things in your eye.
Contacts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dude, some dudes take those contacts out. Terry Funk, forget it.
Blind as a bat.
Yeah, some guys will. Some guys will stiff the shit out of you when they take the contacts off.
Wow.
So, did you give it a star?
No. I'm not. I'm getting it. I thought Gunther with the Germans to him, man. He's giving them the legit Germans he'd give to anybody else on the roster. So it's not like I don't think he held up anything.
He's chopping the shit out of him.
He's chopping the fuck out of him. The clothesline bump, man, was the craziest thing I think in the match. There was a couple really nasty power bombs and suplexes. McAfee got just a tiny bit of offense, which was
that's exactly the way it should be.
I was going to say, he got it enough.
Gunther did a freaking unbelievable job walking him through that whole thing.
Absolutely.
Just walking him through, kid. Follow me.
Right. And it was easy for him because it's just I'm going to beat the shit out of you, and you're going to get these few spots in on me. And that's all you got to do. They did the one spot on the apron with Cole holding down his legs for the near fall, and that
but McAfee bumped really well for a dude who's not a worker.
Yeah.
as far as like
He had a ring in the Thunderdome put in 2 weeks as soon as
I
they
understand
put
that, but once you get in
Not
there,
saying he used it.
but once you get in there when the bullets are flying and you're thinking, you know, like you're not like he reacted very well
That's
to
a good one.
a lot of the shit.
Dude,
you know,
his
chop
back
bump.
bump. Yeah, his back bumps off the chops were like really fucking
Yeah.
good. Because if you don't time that right, it could look super fucking weird.
Well, and he
Yes.
could have just wore the chops and like did the wilt thing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, he took a chop back bump. Like
Yes.
he took some very nice bumps in the match as a whole and made it look like $1,000.
And I thought,
No, dude, he was a B. He did like I don't know. He did, and apparently they feel the same way because I was reading some things that they were very happy with it.
well, for a
I thought
non-wrestler,
it was really, really, really good.
for a non-wrestler, guys had a couple of matches and trained a little bit. He had good comebacks. He had a good nice bumping and things like that. And he's
Facials
not
and
facials and stuff.
yeah,
I mean, he
all that.
gets it too. The fact that he buys
Yeah.
in so much for wrestling, he wants to have a good match, so you know that he's
And
gonna
he knows just keep your ears open and listen to Gunther.
And that's
all you
Gunther
have
come
to
the one
do.
time like breathe. He saw him. He
Yeah.
goes breathe.
well, he was getting. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
No, and this is when it happened. They were McAfee does the backflip off the
And he kinda
top
stumbled
rope.
a little,
boom.
yeah.
Then Gunther freaking suplexes him. McAfee lands on his feet and then did something, and that's when Gunther's like, "Breathe, dude."
Yeah, you can see him saying like
And
breathe.
he's got a smile on his face.
Yeah.
So, dude, that's such a great position to be in. You're killing it with the fans, you know what I'm saying? And that's a straight night off.
But I was just gonna say a goodie's night
They
off.
didn't do much at all.
It can't be a bigger
Yeah, I mean
night
the only
off for
wrestling
Gunther.
maneuver was
You know, Gunther did,
suplex
he
or
has
whatever.
matches.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Gunther did as good to me as Pat did.
100%.
Because, dude, you gotta have somebody to lead you.
And it's all on him
It's
in
a
that
dance.
match. It's all he is the lead dancer there. So
And when Pat starts breathing heavy, he's not thinking. Gunther's telling him what to do.
yeah.
When you're breathing real heavy, you're not thinking.
Oh yeah, you see him when he had him in the reverse chokehold. He's like, grab the rope, grab the rope, and he grabbed the rope. You see Gunther telling the whole thing, walk him right through the whole thing.
To me, that was poetry. Just
Yeah.
that whole thing. Because I love McAfee and I love Gunther the way he just walked him through something special.
It's
You know,
the
it's
crowd.
very hard.
The crowd really, really loved it. Like the crowd was into this the entire time. Just as a match though, it wasn't like it's a spectacle thing. So like I even given this a star ratings, like I'm gonna go 3 stars for it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it, and I respect the work involved. But yeah, I hated the finish. I hated the last ending with it. But I'm gonna go 3 on it. Ollie, what do you give it?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 3. I mean, I really liked the match and all the work in it, and I thought McAfee got the perfect amount of offense in that he should have. So I thought it was done perfectly. Cole probably could have been a little less annoying on the commentary, but I understand like how he's got to make it. Like if McAfee's his best friend and he's getting the shit kicked out of him, so he's got to be a little bit more animated than
Great
usual,
point,
and just
Ollie.
like he's got to be that way. But it was probably a little over the top.
I can turn that off. Like in my ears, I cannot even hear him.
We know you're good at that. Not listening.
Well, no, you remember I tell you I try and listen more.
Yes.
But when he starts doing that, I can just it's weird. I can just tune that out, and I don't even hear that dude.
No, it was kind of
lucky
a
you,
much.
I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, overall though, I mean, it was really, really good. I mean, Gunther did his job, and McAfee made it look great. Sold for him, awesome. So yeah, I mean, 3.
Hack, what do you give it?
A 23.
A 23.
Yeah.
All right, the MJ year. baby.
Yeah. Okay, dude. Well, that's why I said 23. Dude, that was poetry. It was. I don't know. Maybe do you have to be a wrestler to realize that? Like what he just did. Like what happened right there was like exactly what happened when Bam Bam Bigelow took Lawrence Taylor through a match in WrestleMania.
true talent to do that.
Bam Bam just carried his ass, told him everything to do. You know what I'm saying?
Braun Strowman and Tyson Fury.
That's exactly what it reminded me of, dude.
Do you think,
Freaking Bigelow? Love you, Bigelow.
Do you think Gunther would have a better match with Pat McAfee or you?
Oh, Pat McAfee. Are you kidding me? He came
Him and Bigelow would have a lot more
I hit
fun.
my chest and I'd be in an ambulance 36 seconds into the
I
match.
think you're severely discrediting yourself.
I think you are too.
You'd have to have Chastity with you.
Yeah, to do fire extinguisher spot.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so happy Kevin Sullivan gave her to me.
Ty, what do you give the match?
Was Kevin Sullivan your pimp, just like handing you chicks? Like, was that?
Well, he gave me his wife before he went to WCW. I got there, he didn't like Raven for some reason. He took Chastity away from Raven and gave Chastity to me.
There
As
you
soon
go.
as I got there.
Shouts out to Kelvin Sullivan. Rest in peace.
Love you, Kevin.
Ty, what do you give us?
McAfee and Gunther get a 5. Michael Cole gets a -1.
There you go. Up next on the show was the main event. This is the WWE title match between John Cena and Randy Orton. So these two guys, I feel like, could have this match in their sleep. They could come back when they're 75 years old and
They
they could
did
do
the first
this.
10 to 15 minutes of it, which was
did.
great.
They did nothing the first 10 to 15
Yeah,
minutes.
which was amazing.
absolutely
I loved every
nothing.
second of it.
They did absolutely nothing.
I did too.
Yeah.
Dude, when you got to understand that when you're at that level of being over, you really don't have to do a goddamn thing.
I know, and I loved just watching them just go through the
do
motions
nothing.
of do absolutely nothing and get the biggest reactions of the night. And the fact that it was like Randy knows John. He's like, okay, he's giving John his typical things. John's giving Randy his typical things. They know exactly what each other want to do. They don't have to call a single thing, and they're just going back and forth for the first 10 to 15
They probably
minutes.
had that match 50 times before.
Yeah, I don't
Literally, like those two 50 times easily.
be counting house shows and everything. Like I
Because
don't.
back in the day, you were doing house shows.
Right. So that's 3 a week, maybe.
And
you
I
know.
just-
Yeah,
And I
they worked
love-
5 times a week maybe together
And
for
I-
a year.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ty. Sorry.
And I love everything that Cena's doing right now. The heel work, like his entrance, just straight black screen with John Cena on it.
So good.
Like, and he comes out, and then he's like, he had like the Too Cold Scorpio or the Apollo Creed of names. It was like the You Can't See 17 and Me championship.
I didn't even pick that up.
Oh, dude,
That went right over my head.
he had like 4 different like nicknames that they had, which was
That's
phenomenal.
pretty funny. Too.
Yeah, which was phenomenal. He's doing great heel work right now.
I didn't think his work in the ring, and this has been it's counting the Cody match too. Like he's not doing heel work in the ring. Like I'm not seeing him work differently than baby John Cena,
No,
which bothers me.
he's working a little bit differently than he would normally, but I agree with you in the fact that he's not necessarily doing heel maneuvers, but it's more so his facials and everything and his mannerisms and everything that he's doing is just portraying heel as compared to doing the lock, doing your typical heel maneuvers. I love in the beginning when he went for he did the eye poke, and then Randy gave it right back to him after that. That's a little bit something.
And neither one of them sold it.
Yeah,
Neither
pretty-
one.
No, they sold it. No, actually, they both did sell it way longer than if it was with other people that would be on that show.
Well, yeah, nobody
both
sells an eye.
I know, but they both actually sold it for like 20 seconds.
Yeah. Which I agree with you in like in totality, but I just think he's playing the crowd more than he is maneuvering as a heel. Is how I see it going.
For the match, they're like not doing a whole lot. There was a draping DDT that was reversed into a roll up for a 2 count. Orton then did get the DDT on the second try. Cena then went up for an AA, and it was another double down because Orton hit him with the RKO at the same time as the AA. That was a really good spot.
Really good.
Hard to tell if like live. I think.
Yes,
The
who got what?
The replay though showed it that they both hit it. So
I'm just saying,
know,
like if you're in the arena, it's probably a little bit tough to tell.
absolutely. They did another double down, and then Cena got another AA for a 2 count. There was an RKO out of nowhere, and then Cena went to the apron to escape the pin, which I really liked. That was good heel stuff where it's like, I'm smart, I know where I have my ring awareness. Orton went for the punt, and then Cena caught him with another AA for a 2 count. Cena went for his own punt, but then they do the ref bump, and then Cena hits another AA, went for the belt, and then he walked into another RKO for a 2 count. I thought that was a great false.
No, that was right.
That was a great false. They were then on the floor, and then Cena, the announce table set up, and then the ref got bumped again. Orton dropped Cena.
Was that the one where his head hit the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay. He should have been juiced.
I wish there was some blood in this, man. I really
don't
do.
think that was planned. That's why I don't. You know what I'm saying?
What, the stairs?
Yeah.
Orton then dropped Cena with another AA, but the table didn't break, the announcer table. So then Orton goes around the ring. There's no table the first time he looked. He finds another table, and he set up another table, and he puts Cena through that table with an AA on the outside.
Question. I don't think that they called that in the beginning, the second table.
No way. It was because the first one didn't break.
Right.
That was on the
Okay.
fly.
I just wanted to see if that's how you guys saw that too.
That's kind of how I
think
felt.
the first table didn't break, and then Cena was like, "Get another fucking table," basically, and Orton went and grabbed another one. They did that. I just
so.
wanted to make sure that you guys saw that as
Yeah,
how,
I mean,
how
I think
saw
they
it.
could have just not ever even went back to the spot again, and
It was
I
actually
still did it
hilarious
again,
when
it
the
would've been
table.
fine.
It was
Totally
hilarious when
agree with you, Ollie.
But I
when
think
the
it's-
table didn't break, and then
Why?
Cena pushed the end of the
Yeah.
table down, and then Orton was trying to kick the other end, as in if the table collapsing then would have meant something.
I think it's fan service, Ollie, for why they did the table spot. It's because fans want to see a table break. They want to get that release of like, oh yeah, we saw a table break. Like we won tables. I don't know. So that they went back to that one.
I'm just saying though, like the match wouldn't have been thrown off
Not
if
at all.
they didn't go back to it or anything like
Not
that.
at all.
Yeah.
They go back in the ring, and then Orton hits an RKO for 2, but then the ref gets bumped a third time. So then Orton hits Cena with the belt, and then gets a visual pin. And then a bunch of people come in.
Which is so ridiculous. Fucking Randy knowing that the ref is out. I hate him, but obviously he didn't care because, he did it, but Randy knows there's no ref there.
You look like a goof.
And because Cena clearly didn't go for the cover when the ref was down prior.
I hated that part.
Right. I didn't like it either.
I like Randy going to pull to pull the ref up off the floor, drag him across there.
Then you do it.
Yeah.
For a 2, maybe.
But that would take that's like a 90-second spot, though. You know what I'm saying?
But then the crowd might get up and think it could be the fit. You know what I mean? It's a good false, at least. So I agree, Hack. That would have been way better than what they did. So then you get a whole gang of everybody come in, and then Orton just hits an RKO on
It's 5 people.
everybody. I mean,
The third time the posse came out?
the third time the posse comes out,
Posse comes out for the table spot with Priest and them. Then the posse comes out for Becky, and now the posse comes out again. It's like
these producers are getting a lot of TV time. These agents are getting themselves over for TV time.
Yeah, like, what am I-
some nice bumps by Shane Helms and Jamie Noble.
Dude,
And
the one dude took an RKO like a
Dude,
champ.
the second guy took it like
In the yellow,
It was awesome.
whoever was in the yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the yellow tie.
What were their names, Tosh?
Shane Helms.
Love them.
I know
Jamie
that
Noble.
Jamie Noble was
Love
one of
him.
them. I know Nick Aldis took one too,
Yeah,
right?
Mickey James' husband.
No, what
okay.
Pat might say.
I
do.
forget who else the
Mickey James'
producers were.
husband.
Oh yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah, I don't know if you know him.
So Orton then takes all them out with RKOs, and the crowd's going nuts at this point too. I mean, the crowd is going wild for all
An RKO
that.
party.
They really up, and then Orton's going for the punt. But then R-Truth of all people in 2025 runs in and defends his childhood hero John Cena, that stupid joke. And then Orton lays him out with an RKO. And then Cena is able to hit Orton with a low blow and then a belt shot for the finish. I fucking hated the R-Truth run in. R-Truth, I love him. He's not somebody who should be slotted as this goof comedy character. Hack, it's something you've always talked about. I know that he has real value, and he's a real hell of a performer
Dude, he can
himself.
really fucking work.
He's a great worker in his own right. And
Yeah, he can.
But this was he's not over enough to dictate a finish in a world title program, let alone a John Cena, Randy Orton.
And then they made it
gonna
worse after.
I was going to say, in a John Cena Orton match, that
it's a joke spot.
yeah.
He came out. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I thought
Right.
the booking was better than that.
Yeah, there was.
I thought you were booking that.
No, you wouldn't even book that. You would not even book that.
No, not a gazillion years.
Like it would be like the Shah coming out for a fucking finish.
Not
in
a
the main event
zillion
of the
years did I
ECW match.
imagine that dude in the ring.
I mean, I don't know. I thought the finish fucking sucked. And it's not even the fact that Cena went over. I know Cena's going to go over in these matches. He's gonna hold it till SummerSlam or later or whatever. And I didn't think Orton was going to win, and I knew Cena was going to do something heelish to win. But R-Truth, a low blow and a belt shot and 3 ref bumps is just overbooked garbage to me. I didn't think the work in this was bad. These guys, I don't think they're capable of having a bad match. They're so comfortable with each other. But it was such a frustrating fucking finish that, like, if you gave the 4 of us an hour and a half, we'd come up with something better.
That rivalry deserved better than that.
Absolutely, and it's the last time they'll ever mix it up. Probably, maybe
Yeah.
they'll do another one. But I mean, seriously, you gave us.
That's good business, though.
No,
it really
it
is.
So
is,
the
but-
rivalry goes back as long as.
All right, what's
However.
John? Okay, well, let's talk about it for a second then. What's John? Who's next for John?
R-Truth, maybe.
Oh my God! If they do that, people should riot. You don't take the belt off of freaking Cody and then have 60 days later Cena defend it against R-Truth, dude. You're high, very high on drugs. If that's what you're.
Well, have you seen this finish?
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you, Hack.
Wow.
I agree with you.
The freak is going on there?
It's a horrible finish. I don't know if it's R-Truth next, but that's the direction you think it might be.
I know, but once John Cena slams him on the table at the interview right after the match,
He has no, the way that they've portrayed him, and this is not against Ron Killings, he has no credibility as a character to be in this spot. As a performer, I know he can deliver, but he has no credibility as a character to be there.
I kind of disagree.
You think
That kid's good.
I know he's good. Hack.
He really, I hate the position that they always put him in, but that kid can work.
No, that's what Tasha's saying.
Yes.
Is that but the character, the goofball character that he's in, has no position
all right.
being there.
Yes.
But him saying he could work in that spot if he was actually working.
Yeah.
He needs
Agreed.
he needs like 2 years of character rehab before he can be involved in a world title program. I'm serious.
Character.
He needs character rehab. He does. He needs to get built up.
Don't bring him out. It's fucking
We should make
you
that a
got
common
the
phrase.
Giants great kid.
Character rehab.
Needs character rehab. He
I
does.
think they would get that match super over.
The crowd would
I
be.
agree with you, but I think the match would get super over just because they're great.
I don't disagree. I think they would, fans would be into it, but I don't think it's a ticket
But
mover.
I agree with you on
Yeah,
what you're saying.
This match, I have so much anger for the booking of this that I want to give it 3 stars, but I can't because of the booking. I'm gonna have to go 2.5. I fucking hated the booking in this, and it should be a 4. It should be a 4, but it's a 2.5 for me because of the booking. I really just hated it.
I'm gonna give it a 3. The R-Truth thing, kind of a little strange. I mean, we'll see what comes out of it, and then maybe it won't be so strange looking back on it. But for right now, it's kind of like, why'd you do that? But I mean, the overall work in the match is good, and I mean, to Ty's point earlier, and kind of what you guys were saying, John's not doing heel maneuvers in the ring, but it's more like kind of just like, I'm giving you nothing, to the fans, this is all for me, I'm not doing it for you. You get no extracurriculars, no fucking video screen, nothing. This is all for me.
Being plain on purpose.
Yeah, being
okay.
completely plain on purpose. No, not for you. You guys don't matter. So, I mean, they did a lot of good stuff, a lot of good falses in the match. I mean, yeah, it was solid, but I think it could have been better.
Yeah.
It was a 3 for me.
Hack.
Alright, what the hell did I try and remember here? Oh yeah, R-Truth. If they were going R-Truth and Cena, I don't think they're still doing that.
Because of the table spot?
No,
Afterwards?
just because they know the fans don't possibly want that.
Okay. I don't disagree with you. I mean, it would be a terrible direction, I think. But
Yeah.
what did you think of the match and everything, though?
It's John and freaking Randy, dude, and it was such poetry, doing nothing and getting over unbelievably.
I know you would love that.
It's an 11 easily. It's just having them right there, freaking in the palm of your hand for 20 minutes, dude.
I think it went
That's
30.
power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 25 for you?
And a half.
25 and a half. There you go. There you go. Ty, what do you give the match?
First half of the match, first 15 of the match, I thought it was a 5, and then the last 15 of the match, I thought was probably like a 1. So I'm gonna go right in the middle with a 2.5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I completely did not like the last, but that was WWE Backlash 2025. Let us know what you thought of this show. Certainly want to hear from you guys as well if you didn't like it, but if you
Overall
did,
entertaining.
I was entertained the whole time. And here's the thing with
Yeah.
these 5-match shows, they go by so quick. Like I had a couple
Well,
of buddies.
this one did. I
I
remember
don't know
like
about all that.
didn't the last one wasn't there like a shit ton of commercials? and
This
stuff?
one went by really, really
Yeah,
quick.
this one did go by quick.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would ever watch it live anyway.
No, I don't know. I watched it live. It was a
You're
good
a
time.
loser.
Yeah, well, me and Drummy was over. He was drinking some IPAs. So,
All right, Drummy.
Yeah, Drummy, Bryan Street. Yeah, this is a mid pay-per-view to me. But, all right, some housekeeping. So if you guys are in the New York area and
Hold on.
What?
You want to go
Yeah.
back to the Becky match?
Yeah.
Any more pointers?
I didn't like her wearing black.
What do you want us to hold on about?
Don't we have to give the whole pay-per-view a rating?
No, I just said it was an okay show. We don't usually do full show ratings.
We don't.
No.
Sometimes we do.
Sometimes
I
we do.
do in my head.
All right,
my-
so what do you
guys are
got?
doing
You got a 23, a 25 and a half. You got what?
It probably averages out to like 16.5.
16.5.
Yeah.
Backlash 2025.
There you go.
16.5.
16.5 from Hack.
Take that, Melter.
Yeah, take that, Dave. Up yours. Some,
I know. Who the hell is he?
yeah.
Who did he ever beat?
Yeah, who do you ever beat? Some housekeeping. If you guys are in the New York area and you want to see Sandman and sharing some laughs, we're going to be doing the Legion of Skanks live podcast on Monday, 5/19 at the Stand in New York City. Doors open at 7:30. The show starts at 8 p.m. It's 116 East 16th Street, and it should be a blast. So certainly can't wait for that one.
Oh, fuck. That's this Monday coming up.
Yeah, it'll be today when you guys are listening to this podcast. So
Wait, what's today? Dude, that's this Monday?
yeah, it's 5/19. Huh?
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes.
Oh God, you'll be fine.
Next week on the show, our tribute from you, the fans, on the suicidal, homicidal, genocidal Sabu. If you have any favorite moments of watching Sabu, matches you've attended, first time you saw him, what he meant to you as a fan, if you ever had the opportunity to meet the man, and if you want to share, please contribute by writing into sandmanpod@gmail.com or add your memories on our thread on Twitter or post on IG. Busted Open Radio, Hack, you were on there. They did a great tribute to Sabu. I thought you were awesome. Conrad had on Meanie, Rhino, and Al Snow. RVD had Taz on. Meltzer put out a great show going over Sabu's career. Mike Johnson had a fantastic piece on him for PWI. So, I mean, there's been a ton of tributes. This is going to be our tribute. It's our going to be a chance to hear from you guys. So if you want to celebrate the legend, Hack wanted to hear directly from the fans. Our inbox, like I said, we've already been flooded with stories. So if you haven't yet, you have until 5/22 to contribute. This is going to be our way of toasting the legend Sabu himself.
That or any questions for Hack, or working with Sabu, or anything that you got, the matches with Sabu, anything. So,
Absolutely.
And hopefully it wasn't too high to remember it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Here, lizard,
Just saying.
lizard.
As always, listener questions. We have a lean inbox this week, as I've let anyone who wrote us regarding
What?
lean. It's lean, the opposite of me and you. Lean.
Wow, you just totally set me up with that, did you?
No,
It's like, how can I set
How was I going to know you were going to
It's
ask
not
that?
his fault you don't know what lean means.
Yeah. It might mean something else to you, man. You might be sipping on that
Well,
scissor.
yeah.
I let anyone know regarding Sabu to stick to next week's show, so we do have some emails there from the. Up first, Doug, the professor, the official historical expert of the Sandman
All right,
podcast.
Doug, what do you got for me?
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Woo by God. Done the semester from hell. Okay, it's been a minute, so a few things. Ty, apple skull? Horrid. Coming from a
Does
tobacco...
it get you really high, though, is what we want to
Coming
know.
from Tobacco Row in Virginia, I was raised by a Vietnam vet who dipped fine-cut Copenhagen for about 65 years. He used to tell me if I wanted flavored shit, I'd go get some chewing gum. Now I wouldn't go that far, but apple, man, you're gonna have some acid reflux when you get to be an old man like me.
All right, I usually do mint, but the store I went to didn't have mint. And sorry I didn't grow up in the hills of backwoods with cyclopses and chew fine fucking mint fucking tobacco.
Yo, but that Copenhagen was what all the hard asses that he's talking about were using then.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah,
a
it was
hard
like-
ass if you chew Copenhagen.
Dude,
I'm sorry.
I was in a job. So I was on a job site, 95 degrees, smoking a non-filter Camel cigarette and dipping Copenhagen.
Oh man,
Wow.
you're the
This-
man.
I'm a
Oh, yeah,
beast.
you're the hardest dude ever. Because the name on
No,
the tin said
but
Copenhagen
dude, that
and not
Copenhagen
Skull.
is so fine. You got to keep it there. You're just swallowing some
I
shit.
can't do it. It breaks apart too easy.
I know.
can't.
And dude,
Yeah, I guess I'm a pussy. I guess I'm not man enough
well,
to do
no, Arnold
fine shit.
Skolin used to freaking swallow his dip.
Really?
You didn't know that?
No.
disgusting.
Yeah, that's total. I wish Pat was here for that one.
I did dip one time and I got a tummy ache, so. Yeah.
That was a pretty big tummy ache.
Did you do 2 tins to get that?
Where were you, Tosh? Or should we do a whole show on that?
My tummy ache?
You throwing up.
No.
Yeah, you got room to talk, Mr. Bong.
Yeah, you took a bomb rip before the show and
Yeah,
had
I
a puke.
threw up before the show. I took such a big hit of dope. I threw up.
Maybe it's just where I live. Any rate, onto a question involving the whole crew because I think we want to know about you all. Sandman, you have an affinity for 99 bananas. The rest of you fellas, what is your go-to liquor? Not a mixed drink, but if you could just drink something neat, take a shot of, what would it be? Since it's not my show, I forego stating mine, but I'd like to get a round table on this question. For me, I'm a tequila guy. I like tequila shots. So any kind of...
Yeah, but he's a loser.
I like tequila. Allie, what about you?
I mean, I don't really have like a specific shot preference, really. I mean,
I always like, what's the cheapest when I go into the liquor store?
I mean, not that. It's really just like any kind of I mean, anything really besides Fireball. I fucking hate Fireball, but really any kind of liquor you hand me, I'll take a fucking shot of it.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Ty?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a rum drinker. I'm a mixed drink kind of guy. I don't really do a lot of shots. If I don't not tequila shots, not Jameson shots for sure. But pretty much anything besides that. Give me a Jaeger shot.
James. I don't even like Jaeger.
Give me Jaeger bombs.
Jaeger's like,
Jaeger bombs.
Yo, yeah.
dude. He's like, that's a Ric Flair shot.
Yeah, well,
I mean, you want to go?
that's like
woo
that's
if
like
you
the
take that
Copenhagen of
shot.
alcohol, man. That's like the
Oh,
man
dude, that
shit.
Copenhagen. You're breaking the windows in that club with a woo.
What about some Delco Red? What about some Blackberry Brandy? You ever do a shot of that?
Yeah,
that's some
I've
good-
had me
that's
do
some good
blackberry
stuff.
brandy
I'm not
shot.
drinking a girl's drink.
Blackberry
Brandy.
Brandy is not. It's
No, back in the day, it used to be in that and orange juice used to be a drink.
Well, when you were at Chippendale?
No, it was before that. It was before that.
He also says, I had to put my little dog to sleep about 3 weeks ago, and it hurt so bad. I really don't think you guys understand how much of a public service you provide. It helped me get through more than just talking to someone or crying or being unproductive. Maybe you can apply for tax-exempt status as a public service. I'll sign. Thanks again, the professor.
Hey,
So,
sorry to hear that, man. Glad we could help.
absolutely sorry to hear that. Glad to help you, brother. Heart Attack Rick from Mechanicsburg, PA writes in,
Ricky.
what's up, Tosh and boys and the lover of pentafacials hack? Rick here, back at it again.
That's funny.
This week's pay-per-view was 5 stars to me.
It's the facials.
All right, Ricky, you liked it. Nice.
Hold on.
Ricky!
He says this week's pay-per-view was 5 stars to me because Jade Cargill wasn't on it, stinking up the joint.
There you go.
I'm totally loving the new Dirty Dom so far, but I popped big time for the guy with the sign that said Razor Ramon's toothpick hits harder than you do. That was a great sign. I saw that. That's a great sign.
Huge. I might have thrown up. I've been laughing so hard.
Did the Pat versus Gunther match get anywhere? I don't remember because I fell asleep after watching them play Ring Around the Rosie for 10 minutes. I give this pay-per-view a green shirt guy, John Cena cutout wave out of an attitude adjustment to R-Truth through a table. This week's question for Hack is, what did you think about Penta's outfit showing you how blue his balls are? Wanted to give you your next facial? I'm only asking this because during the WrestleMania recap... You popped him so big on that one.
Hold on, get the barf back.
Yeah. I'm only asking you guys this because during the WrestleMania recap when you guys were talking about Penta's match, Hack said, I love his facials. As always, blah, 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 best podcast.
Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you, Rick.
You said it all, dude.
As always, Ricky, you pop us.
Yeah, you're. I love what he says. What he gives the ratings out of. So Rick always
Yeah, that
great.
was good.
Kevin from Dayton, Ohio writes in.
Kevin.
What's up, Jabba the Hack? On last week's episode,
Jabba the Hack.
He's got to be talking to you, Tyler.
No, you Jabba the Hutt with your gun.
Jabba the Hack, he called
Dude,
you.
I honestly think I lost a pound.
There you go, one
In like
down.
the last month.
Hey,
Yeah,
like,
I'm trying right
Like
now.
Jalen Hurts says, 1% better every day,
Yeah,
baby.
that's right. 1%
So
less
please,
work.
everybody, put me in your prayers tonight to lose 3-4 ounces tomorrow.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
On last week's episode, Hack crushed it in 3-way, and you really put over Hack wrestling through injury. What happened afterwards? Did you have any lingering knee pain today? And how soon did you get back in the ring? Thanks for killing it as always.
I was in the ring like 14 days later with Taz choking me out. And what was the next question?
Do you have any lingering knee pain today?
Well, no, I got a new one.
There you go.
Was that? Yeah.
I've had a full knee replacement for probably
Didn't you wear a
10,
knee brace or
12
something
years.
after that? Like go on crutches on TV or something? Weren't you on crutches on TV or something for a little bit?
Yeah. But I didn't wear that for long.
I didn't mean to hurt
You
your
know what I
brain
mean?
there.
I'm trying to get back in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just work around it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Next week on the
Working
show.
around it means if you're in there with the right people, we can have a decent match. And with me still with my knee that screwed up.
Yeah, I think they got that.
That's such a dick to him. Hack is ready to cane Tyler. So next week.
Relax, Jabba the Hack.
Next week on the show, our Sabu tribute. Please share with us to sandmanpod@gmail.com on our thread on Twitter or on our Instagram page. We really want to hear from the fans on this one. It's going to be our way of celebrating the absolute legend in the business. But before we go, Hack, the cane of the week or the toast of the week? There's only one. Fingers up, man.
Yep. Shout out.
Peace.
Ain't it foggy outside?